Welcome to the George's FTTV YouTube channel. Today we'll discuss a bit of strategy. So we'll go over not too much on flex, but just Supercoach strategy in general of how we're going to approach this year. A few changes to my team. I've taken out Coleman. I've added Hollands. Relax, I'll explain. I've added Marage. He is very speculative and I don't know much about him, but I can speak a little bit on him. My midfield mix keeps changing. I've sort of don't want to pay up, do want to pay up. Don't know. A few value picks I like though. So talk about the midfield mix that's constantly changing. And I'm not picking Horn Francis. I'll explain why. So I'm pretty committed to that. Unless something outrageous happens in pre-season. But and then for strategy, talk a bit of flex. Talk a bit of concern with some draftees. Just all have some individual issues that I've sort of seen. A lot of it injury related or being held back and stuff like that. So we'll go over that. We'll go over that sort of stuff. So hope you're having a good summer. If you enjoyed the cricket, I watched a little bit of cricket. I haven't watched tests for cricket for a long time, but did get into the test matches a little bit, which was good. Watching a lot of tennis. So I was open. Sinner and Demon just started, so I'll catch, hopefully after the first set, I'll catch that game. But I was very happy with Djokovic's win. Really hope he gets his 25th slam. But just enjoying the high quality level of tennis as well. Be a big game against Zverev, who's in great form. So that's that. And we'll get straight into the Supercoach stuff. We'll go over the team of not every single player, but what sort of changes. So why have I taken Coleman out? There's just a post. Someone posted some notes that he's had a minor setback. It is unconfirmed. It is not official or anything. Just someone made those notes. Before that, though, I did have big concerns with Coleman. Just he's got a history of... It was a few years ago, he didn't look super fit when he came back and he pinged a hammy straight away when we were looking at him as a cheap... I think it was similar price, $270k a few years back. So I have concerns of how... he's never ran our game super well up until probably last year. Or 2023 rather. So I have some issues. You lose a lot of fitness and it's going to be tight doing an ACL 12-month turnaround to be ready. So I have some concerns with that in terms of his ability to get up in his fitness levels. I guess we'll see in opening round, but if he has had a setback, that's concerning. But I just don't trust it to be right. I think see how he goes, but I'm not confident. But anyway, Hollands, I've added. So Nick Newman's gone down. I mean, most people in Discord, there's a few on board, but most people are pretty not very interested in Hollands. Long story short, he's playing halfback, and if you look at Carlton's defenders, I'm not going to try sell you Hollands. I do like him because I had him as a rookie. We go past season. I had him as a rookie a few years ago and had really good work rate, so I did like him. Filters. Look at Carlton defenders. Who scores points here? Newman. Sard's never been an accumulator, and he's injuries are catching on a bit. I guess Wiedering's key defender. McGovern's not an accumulator. Williams is forward. Cowan scored well as a junior, so I'm not too sure. What sort of role do they give him? It looks like Hollands has the distributor role. So for me, it looks like someone's going to score points, and it sounds like it's going to be Hollands. So look, kicking might be a little bit suspect. That could be an issue, but it was an accumulator as a junior. And he averaged, I think his last 5 in DT, I think it was 85, and he did it off one kick in, but his tackle counts were pretty high. These are his last few scores. 96, 116, 72, 90. I'm not sure. I think that one was halfback, 41. I'm not sure, but it's not bad. And part of the reason why I'm picking him, and we'll get to strategy after, and I'm pretty committed to it, to be honest. I want to pick him. We'll see how he goes in practice game. But even if he looks crap in practice, I still probably will pick him because I think he's got the ability to be a good halfback. Maybe we'll talk a bit more about him another time, but certainly not $330k, usually a pretty horrific price point to pay for a player in this game if they're not a keeper. But I'm concerned about defense a little bit in terms of the depth, and a lot of people were running like a Mills and a Coleman, and the durability of those two is not great. So something goes down, we might need help down back, and Hollands can fix that in round 6 all going well. So there's a few more things I'd like to say on Hollands, but yeah, I don't know. I liked him in his first year. Just worked really hard getting up and down the ground. Was always helping in defence, and all of a sudden he'd be up forward. So yeah, good work rate, good tog, hard worker, stuff like that. So, and accumulator. So yeah, we like Hollands. I've added Ryan Marage. Watched some highlights of him playing half back as a junior, or sort of like deep defence. I think it was third tall role. Watching those highlights didn't fill me with a lot of confidence, to be honest, but the role was really nice. And I think that's the role he's training in at the moment. More of a watch. Was taking kick-ins in that game, but yeah, that was draft year when I think he went undrafted, so slight concern there. But yeah, it looks like the role will be okay. Is he definitely best 22? Not sure. So it's a bit to pay 220k, but we'll see what happens. So Ryan Marage is just there for now, and he can just go down to a rookie if he doesn't look good. But I'm a bit more convinced on Hollands at the moment. Yeah, I can see people hating the Hollands pick, but I don't mind it. My midfield mix keeps changing. Touch on that too. Defense has stayed the same. Sheasel, Sinclair, Clark, Mills hasn't changed at all. I think I've added Flanders for a few days, but too expensive. And I was looking at Flanders' last 3 games, kicked 2 goals in each game, playing pure half forward pretty much. So we don't like half forward for 650k. Sicily, like limited preseason, I think, with the shoulder. I'm not too sure. Forward threat, how real is that? Probably only when they really need it. But and the buy, not sure, but I do love Sicily. But defender mix can, it's just this for now, and I'm not sure how realistic 4 rookies on the field is. But yeah, midfield mix. The players I'm picking from: Bont, Butters, Sarong, Brayshaw, Dawson. I think it'll be out of those 5. I can see a Tom Green going well. I can see LDU going really well. If I wasn't a Crow supporter, I probably wouldn't pick Dawson. Just my favourite player, Crow supporter, king of the Crom. So just love watching him. The role might not be perfect, but he can still score. So yeah, I think it's just because I really like him, and bias is kicking in, which is not really how you should play the game, but here we are. And then, I think I'll pick Peatling most likely. It's interesting to see what sort of CBA's ranking will get, because that will definitely affect Peatling, because Dawson will be in there, Saliga will be in there. I suspect Crouch will too. So Sid Draper's being held back a bit, but I don't think Curtin will get CBAs. I don't think he's ready for that yet. I think he'll be more half forward, but we'll see. So Bont, Butters, Sarong, Dawson, and Brayshaw. The other one was Petrarca. Petrarca done some in limited training at the moment with a rib issue. He probably will be fine, but don't know with Petrarca. I think he'll be fine, but coming back from that really serious injury, and who knows how Melbourne go. Oh, and I suppose Oliver as well. Oliver's not moving. I think he's top 3 locks in the entire game. So had a bit of match sim today and looked good apparently. And then O'Horn Francis. I'm committed to this for a few reasons. I think we'll get a few forward rooks. I think we'll get Davidson, with Jamara having issues. Listening to SEN this morning, sounds like he's unlikely to play round 1. Jamara, I don't know. Leave that to the journalists. But Davidson's 190 centimetre, kicked a few goals in match sim the other day. I don't know, but Bever likes his mature ages, so we'll see how he goes. Like, mature age is always good. So a few more preseasons under the belt. Connor Stone had a bit of a puff piece on him. I don't know, because there is a vacancy with Perryman and Isaac coming in that team at the Giants. So hopefully we get one of Leake or Stone, who both scored well in the VFL. Kako, I'm not really convinced on in terms of scoring, but I think he almost has to play. Like, they don't have much at small forward. I think Joe Berry as well, who was one of the assistant coaches at Port, said Joe Berry will play round 1, which is a good sign. So, yeah, I think we'll get some cash makers forward, and McRae, Smith, Philippou, and Daniel. I think Philippou, Daniel certainly non-negotiable, in my opinion. Smith with the bye looks like he's going to play inside mid. Pretty hard to pass up, and we expect McRae to play inside mid, so it's sort of hard to pass up to at the price. Which means that, yeah, to have to fit Juan Francis in. Like, would I pick Juan Francis over Dawson? I don't know. The thing with Juan Francis is a few things. I was looking at his scores. So, like, 3 of his biggest scores last year were round 9, round 10, and round 4. Yeah, so they're like 3 of his biggest few scores. And though that's when Rosie missed 2 games and Ollie Wines missed. Not only that, I think this 141 this was bullshit, this game, because I watched it and it was just the weirdest, most defensive stoppage fest that it made no sense. Like, neither team wanted to score this game. It was a very weird game. So I think that game was an outlier too. So I think his average slightly inflated, and towards the back end of the year, they did like him to play a bit more deep forward, like not half forward, but actual like 1 out forward, which he can, he can kick goals from there because he's so good. So I think in Port's setup, there's just too many points to go around. Like, Drew did 90, Ollie Wines did 90 plus, and you got Butters and Rosie and Juan Francis. So yeah, they probably like Juan Francis as the best forward. So look, don't get me wrong, we'll definitely get him in at some point, but I don't think he's priority for a starting pick. If one of them goes down, that's when it'll get interesting. And yeah, because he's young and, progression, he could improve just with natural progression as well. But I'm not sure the CBAs will improve. That's the thing. So yeah, look, no doubt he'll be a superstar, but I think we're going to pass on Juan Francis for now. Like, nothing against picking him. I think he'll be popular and he'll be a fine pick. But yeah, that coupled with the hamstring issue, not really issues, but he's done 2 before. Did 1 at North, did 1 last year. So I think he hobbled off as well, but might have been cramp like late in the season. Looked like pretty bad, but yeah, might have been cramp or something. So probably didn't need to bring that up. But yes, there are players with no soft tissue history, which I always give that slight, when you're splitting hairs, that's where I like to, favour one over the other. So, now the whole point of running these 300k players is to get rookies off the field. I might get a screenshot of my team. I'll just bring that up. Okay, I have this screenshot now of my team in round, I believe it was round 2 last year. Yeah, I think it was round 2 because we traded in Sarong. So this is my team from round 2. This is just an example of why the strategy for me is get rookies off the field ASAP, because we have this stupid sub rule, and I know we have rounds 2, 3, and 4. Round 3, we're going to be down Bailey Smith anyway, and we might run Callum Mills or maybe like a Roberts or somebody else, or like a Will Ashcroft, who I dropped, by the way, because he had a limited training session. So I don't even know. I just dropped him because of that, but he's probably completely fine. But as you can see, and I do apologize for the quality here, like the rookies are, with this sub rule, things can go wrong. So you got Caulfield injured, Reed injured, Hoare injured and subbed, Roberts got subbed eventually, Sanders got subbed, Jai Clark got subbed, Carroll got subbed, Berry got subbed, Caddy was fine, Wilson was really good, Sexton got dropped, and I got Billings here, he got subbed. So it's just this sub rule, because players are cheap for a reason, because they're not best 22 or whatever reason, come back from injury and whatnot. So this is why I want to get rookies off ASAP. Last year we had 4 early buys, and my ass got covered pretty badly. Like I didn't even have Gibcus. He got injured as well. So, yeah, a lot of these players, for example, I got Zach Reed here. Like, please, I don't want to pick him. I hope he comes good for his own career, but we know the durability issues there. But, I like a bustling on the field, because if he's playing some sort of key defensive role, it's probably not going to be sub. Although Bevo has had, I think, Keith as a sub, so who knows. But I think his numbers are good. Just needs to play. Could Travalia be sub? They're playing Ari back, it seems, and Travalia wing. Leak, could he be sub if he plays? Sheldrick, sub. Could he be sub? We know Scott's put never as sub before. Hewitt, could he be sub? Burst player. I don't know if he's what his fitness levels are like, but he's third year now. Levi is still in limited training. That's not good. Jagger, probably you think will be fine, hopefully. Kako, you probably don't want on field. Davidson, we know. Bevo, and just who knows what he does. But, if Bevo picks a favourite, he won't be sub. So I think last year was Gallagher, so hopefully Davidson's one of them. Stone, is he definitely best 22 for a start? And these are just we don't know. We're going to see more players. But the point is, we saw the team I just brought up before. The whole team that was under 250k was a sub chance, or actually did get subbed. So, I didn't have McCurch in that team. Let's not speak about that. But, this is why, having an Hollands is going to be the key distributor. Peatling's going to be probably the fourth, anywhere between the third and fifth mid. So I think he should be fine. Dawson, Crouch, Saligo, Rankin, Peatling. I think they'll be the main five. So I'm not sure he gets subbed, but I don't think so. Maybe I'm just talking myself into it, but I was impressed with him, so I don't think he will be. But yeah, paying up for these players should, in theory, prevent us having to risk these players that are subbed off. And yeah, last year we had 4 early buys. This year only 3. So rounds 1 and 5 are, or rounds 2, 3, 4 will have, best 18 safety. And yes, we will have this flex spot that will cover us a bit. So that's definitely going to help. Should have probably mentioned that before. But again, there's just so many names that you just don't know that could get subbed. And, if a sub game gets dropped off, well, what if, you still got another bunch of players to worry about as well. So we don't want rookies on. Not only that, it's not just the sub factor and injury factor with a lot of these they might not have the conditioning of more seasoned players. But yeah, best 22 risk as well could get dropped. So, there's a lot of accumulative risk in rookies, but the reward is they have the most money-making potential. So no doubt they're important, but if you get what I'm saying, if we can get rookies off as fast as we can, I think we'll be fine. And that's what these 300k guys do. Now, in older Supercoach, 24 trades, 30 trades, rookies probably a bit more important. Back then, no sub rule either, for the most part. And they're sort of no man's pick, because they don't make the old rule of, you want them to make 150k, whereas now I think their function is get those points on the board early, because, mid-price strategy in 30 trade Supercoach, it was good up until the buys, until you were finishing team and you didn't have enough trades to flip everyone over. But now we do have enough trades, so we'll see. But yeah, that's my take on that in terms of strategy. Get rookies off as fast as possible. And it's sort of this is standard in fantasy and standard in Supercoach too, but paying up too much can really prevent that, or not picking enough value picks. So I've tried to balance fair bit of value, forward lines, layout value, a few top liners in each mid and defense, and Rux, I suppose. Rux is a bit of a tough one, but yeah. And then the last thing I want to touch on is, I keep looking here because I have my agenda and notes on this other screen, but the last thing I want to touch on is, the draft picks from last year. How good are they going to be? I suppose we can sort by ownership. I can't actually read that because my eyes are stuffed. Oh, it's this one. Coach's choice. Or coaches, I suppose, at this point. So yeah, most of the top draft picks will be here. Bo Allen, I don't know a lot about. Maybe, I don't know. We'll see how he goes. But in terms of the mid, the 180k-ish range, Jagger, you'd hope, he seems to be going pretty well. Still, was inside mid. They got Walsh, they got Chera, Cripps, Hewitt. I don't know. Maybe they run Elijah through there. I don't know. Maybe he's half forward. But, still the role could be at best 4th, 5th mid in line. But he's the one I'm most confident on. But Sid Draper's being held back at the moment. He's had back issues for a few years, I think. So, yeah, he's not in full training. Do they hold him back, nurture him through the SNFL? I know the Crows don't have the strongest 22, but there's a lot of names that can go through that midfield. And it's sort of, yeah, with the additions they've had in the off-season, it's like 3 best 22 spots are gone from last year. So, yeah, it's not easy to make the team, if you ask me anyway. For what we've got on the list, Smiley, I heard was limited training the other day. And Smiley, I was looking at his draft stats. I think in under 18s, he averaged 19 touches a game. That's not... Maybe I'm not 100% across draft leagues and stuff like that. I know he coaches like a lesser league, I think, than 18s. I think, could be wrong, but where he averaged, I think, in the mid-20s. But yeah, that's not encouraging at all. I know he did have a game against VFL listed players or the like. Had like a 25, 26 touch game, but yeah, I don't know. I look at those under 18s numbers and I'm not convinced that that's a guy that's going to score enough. So for me, I'm not really interested in, but more than happy to watch him in pre-season. I guess Lynch could be an option. Laylor is coming back from a bad hamstring, so probably not going to pick him. Yeah, Travali, I think, is up here. Travali playing wing instead of... From looking at his highlights, very impressive intercept marker, but wing, you're not going to score as well, 170k, but still, like, I guess outside his role, we saw Darcy Wilson do well. Who are the other guys? I can't even remember. We should sort by price. Langford and Lindsay. I've heard Lindsay's been in limited training, and I haven't heard a lot of Langford. So it'll be interesting to see how they go. But yeah, I've heard Lindsay's been limited training for a long time. You got a few expensive guys like Ed Allen, Sardis. Are they best 22? Your Collingwood have got Perryman. Nick Martin's playing a bit of inside mid, so that's just not going to help Sardis. And Mia Parrish is fit as well. Durham and Cordwell, like, it's sort of hard to... I know they're exploring roles with Durham, but sort of hard, the way they went last year. You're really going to cut into their mid-time significantly. I don't know. So there's just issues everywhere. And yeah, this is why I think your Hollands and Mills types who I don't think will be subbed. I guess if Hollands really plays bad, they could pull the trigger, but I am a believer. But yeah, anyway, feel free to hang shit on this team if you want. I think Dawson and Clark are 2 picks that I'm not sure they're necessary. I just really like them as players. Again, the defense is pretty hard to pick, and then midfield I probably could get Dawson up to Brayshaw, but then I think that by Saints and Freo, I think I'd be a little bit too heavy. McRae, Philippou, Sinclair, 6 players out on that buy. Maybe that's a little bit too heavy, but yeah, round 12 buy is also pretty rough. Port, North, Dogs, Carlton, really, really bad buy. Really, really bad. So, but you really want Cheezel, you really want Bond, you really want Butters. Like, how long do you want to go without these guys? So, yeah, I guess you can just, if you don't play the value game, or you just cop it in the buys. But anyway, that's it from me. Next video, I don't know when that'll be. Hopefully start ramping up the content. Yeah, it's only 49 days, so it's coming around. But yeah, I'm going to go watch Sinner. Let's check the score. Oh, he's cleaned him up in the first set. He's up a break. That's not good for Demon. So we'll go watch that. Hopefully Demon does all right, but I don't mind Sinner. But anyway, thanks for watching, and we'll see you guys in the next one.